Sixers and Celtics, by far the most in NBA history, with Boston winning 5 of the first 7. It's also only one shy of the most Game 7s in NBA, NHL, and Major League history, trailing only the Bruins-Canadiens matchup over the years. Celtics used to hosting Game 7s. This will be their 27th Game 7 at home. They have won 21 of them, which is 5 more than any other franchise has even played at home, including 4 home Game 7 wins over Philly. And Doc Rivers will coach his 16th Game 7, which is 5 more than any other head coach in NBA history. The bad news for the Sixers is Doc's 9 Game 7 losses are also by far the most in NBA history, and he's lost 4 straight since 2015. Here's Rivers on Game 7.
Closeouts are hard. You know, I think you guys spout my record all the time. Yet I have a winning record in the playoffs. I have a winning record in series. You know, just because you lose a closeout game doesn't mean you don't win that series. You know, no one talks about that, you know. So with our guys, I tell them that, like, just hang in there. The fact, own your record, own everything, and embrace it and attack it. Don't focus on winning. Focus on playing. Playing equates winning. Worrying about winning gets you in trouble. Just go play the right way, and we'll be good.
Let's delve into Game 7 a little bit more with 14-year NBA veteran Danny Green joining us in studio now. So there's a couple of different approaches to a Game 7. One is you try to keep everything as normal as possible, not give in to the pressure and the hype. But then there's also the added focus and intensity with the stakes there. Which school are you from?
I mean, I just try to let loose and have fun. But it's different for different guys. You know, different guys have different routines. Obviously, at this point, you know, a lot of guys touched on it. Both teams know each other. So there is no surprises, really. It's really who's going to come in and win the dogfight. So who's going to scrap, who's going to want it more. So some guys lock in more, some guys meditate, some guys listen to music. For me, I just try to go in and have fun and be loose, and that's when I play my best basketball.
Now, each team has won on the other's home floor. Celtics have been imploring their fans to get loud and give them some energy. But what do you see as the keys to this Game 7?
Well, I said it's going to be dependent on if Jason Tatum starts out the game better than he has in the last 2 or 3 games. You know, the pace of the game is going to determine for Philly. I think Boston has the edge with the crowd behind them, but it's a 50-50 toss-up, really, because both these teams, you don't know what team's going to show up that night, who's going to be who. I think it's going to be a great game, but I think Boston has the edge at being at home.
What about Joel Embiid, MVP? This is the moments you need him most.
Yes.
You know him, play with him. How do you think he responds?
I think he responds in a big way, and that's why you can't count Philly out. Any other team, I would say Boston's got it. They got to 7, game series is over. But because Philly has Joel, when you have that guy and the way he played last game, and because he didn't touch the ball in the last 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, I think he's going to respond in a big way and give Philly a chance, if not, win the game from him.
Tuesday night, Western Conference Finals get underway. Lakers and the Nuggets. What do you see as the key matchups in that one? I think I know where you're going.
I think everybody knows the matchup they're looking at. They're looking at AD and Jokic. Now, if AD stays healthy, there's not many teams that can beat the Lakers in this league. That's going to be a big if. But Jokic and the Nuggets as well. They're a tough team, so it's going to be a 6-7 game series. I do like Denver with the edge on this one. Denver has more of their others with more experience. The Lakers have a lot of guys don't have as much playoff experience, but they are playing great, and it's going to be determined what other guys step up.
It's funny, we've been talking about the Lakers and talking a lot about Anthony Davis, and it's almost like LeBron James has been a Hall of Fame afterthought.
Yeah.
But in that closeout game against the Warriors, second half especially, he made the correct play every trip down the floor. It was amazing to watch.
Well, LeBron's a guy that you can count on every night. The guy that makes them go and win and be successful is Anthony Davis. LeBron's so stable and been consistent, and that's just great. We take him for granted for 20 years, and you know he's going to bring to the table. It's really what AD does and what the other guys do is how far the Lakers are going to go.
Danny Green with us on SportsCenter. Meanwhile, the Warriors season ended Friday night in Los Angeles as the Lakers eliminated them in Game 6. And so a very challenging offseason of decisions begins now for Golden State. How much of the championship makeup that produced those 4 titles is still there, and how do they manage their roster moving forward? One of the key players involved is Jordan Poole.
I mean, we ready to the second round of the playoffs. You know, we had a good season, and guys stepped up, had a lot of exciting moments. So, I mean, I don't think there's anything that was, changing anything a lot. Learned a lot, grew a lot. A lot of exciting moments throughout the course of the season. Made it to our second playoffs. It was a good season. Obviously, we want to go further and want to still be fighting for a championship, but the cards don't always pan out that way, but it was a lot to learn from and a lot of takeaways.
And what was, I guess, the organization's message in your meeting here with the exit interview before coming over here about what they want to see from you?
Well, not sure I can share that information.
So now looking to the offseason, Steph Curry signed for the long haul, 3 years, $167 million left on his deal. But the other two players in the Warriors core group have deals coming up soon. Draymond Green, $27.6 million player option, and Klay Thompson has just 1 year left on his deal at $43 million. So it's all part of a roster that could cost more than $500 million in salaries and taxes next year if Green returns. Kendra Andrews now with more on the Warriors.
It can win in Boston, having already done so twice in this series. That was the message from the NBA's MVP, Joel Embiid, heading into arguably the biggest game of his career. We know what we've got to do, Embiid said. We've got to respond and got to go win.
Embiid and the Sixers looking to reach the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 2001. That squad got all the way to the finals with Allen Iverson. Philly has lost 4 straight games with a chance to clinch a conference finals berth since then and has lost in this conference semifinal round in 4 of the previous 5 years.
After the Suns were blown out in a playoff elimination game for the second consecutive season, the Suns decided to dismiss head coach Monty Williams, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, who says that owner Matt Ishbia made the decision himself. The 2-time coach of the year helped the Suns to their first finals appearance in 20 years back in 2021 and won 63% of his games in 4 years as Phoenix head coach. Williams took over a Suns team that had the worst record in the NBA over the previous 4 seasons. He soon turned them into a contender that made an NBA Finals and had a franchise record 64-win season. But ultimately, the Suns chose to move on after those back-to-back 25-point losses in elimination games. All right, Danny Green now joining us, and I have to get your thoughts on this. Monty Williams out at Phoenix. What do you think?
I'm very surprised, but with this business, you know how it goes. Nobody's safe. It's a what have you done for me lately type of league. But this is shocking to me. I just heard about it a little while ago. He's done some great things. He's a great coach. He's a great guy. And I think he connected well with the players. I don't think there's much more he could have done in that series. I don't think they were the better team. They lost. But I think they're making changes. They're looking for what moves they can make player-wise and I guess coaching-wise. He caught the short end of the stick.
And like you said off camera, he will get an opportunity elsewhere.
Oh, I believe so. So he's a great guy. He'll definitely find another spot, a great spot.
Also a great guy, Danny Green. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have much more to come on SportsCenter from LA. Much more on the Sixers Celtics. Danny Green will rejoin us to break down the win or go home scenario. Plus, we crown a champion. Would the Renegades or Defenders celebrate not only with the XFL trophy, but with